Hello everyone, in this video I am going to discuss a story titled My Teacher, written by an American writer, Helen Keller. This story is an extract from Helen Keller's autobiography, The Story of My Life. And this story is about her teacher, Anne Sullivan. And now let us learn about Helen Keller and her teacher, Anne Sullivan. Helen Keller was born on 27th June 1880. When she was born, she was normal and healthy like other children, but when she was 19 months old, she was stricken by an illness due to which she became blind and deaf. But the parents were very optimistic. They took the baby Helen Keller to every possible hospitals and clinics. One day in the year 1886, after 6 years, in the year 1886, the parents met an ENT specialist. The ENT specialist advised the parents to go to Alexander Graham Bell. Alexander Graham Bell was not only a scientist, he was working for deaf children. So when the parents took the baby to Alexander Graham Bell, he further advised them to contact Perkins Institute for Blind. The parents, when they took the baby to Perkins Institute for Blind, the director of that institute called the former student of that school, Anne Sullivan, and he asked her to become Helen Keller's teacher. That was the beginning of the relationship. It was a 49 years relationship between Helen Keller and her teacher. The teacher was always there with her to help her, to guide her to discover the world. Under the guidance of the noble and dedicated teacher, Helen Keller learned to write and read. In the year 1904, Helen Keller did her bachelor's degree in arts, and she was the first blind and deaf student to do so. And she went on to become a world-famous speaker and writer. And even before completing her graduation, she also had another achievement. That was, she had published her autobiography, The Story of My Life, in the year 1903, when she was just 23 years old. She was also a very good friend of Alexander Graham Bell, Charlie Chaplin, and Mark Twain. And recognizing all her remarkable achievements, the President of America, the then President of America, in the year 1964, awarded her with the highest civilian award, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. This was all possible due to the efforts of a great and remarkable teacher, Anne Sullivan. Because there was a strong foundation in Helen Keller's life laid down by her teacher, Anne Sullivan. And in this extract, My Teacher, Helen Keller explained how this strong foundation was built. Before her education began, there was pain, anger, and bitterness in her heart. And her life was in complete darkness, and she desperately needed someone to guide her. And there was always a wordless cry in Helen Keller's life, and that was, "Light, give me light." And that light was given to her when her teacher came to her. It was on 3rd March 1887. When the teacher came to Helen Keller's house the first day, she gave a doll which was sent by the blind children at Perkins Institute. That was also dressed up by a girl called Laura Bridgman. And later, after giving the doll to Helen Keller, the teacher started teaching the spelling of the word doll through her fingers. Initially, Helen Keller was interested in learning all this finger play and the spellings. But one day, when the teacher was trying to teach the concepts of water and mug, Helen Keller became impatient with the teacher's repeated efforts, and she seized the doll and she dashed it upon the floor. It was broken. There was no guilt, there was no regret, there was no sorrow. But the teacher was very tolerant. The next day, the teacher thought of giving a different kind of methodology. The next day, the teacher decided to take Helen Keller to a well house to teach the concept of water. Someone was drawing water from the well house. The teacher took Helen Keller's hand and she poured out the water onto one hand and she started spelling the word water with the other hand. And that's when Helen Keller understood the concept of water. And that was also the time when Helen Keller was enlightened. And from that moment onwards, she became curious and she realized that her teacher was there to help her. And from that moment onwards, she became curious and she started learning many great words. Whatever object that she touched, she wanted to know the meaning of it. And she learned many great words like father, mother, teacher and sister. And that was how the strong foundation was laid down in her life. And that's how she became a world famous speaker and writer. That's all about the episode, My Teacher. Thank you for watching.